Hey guys, what's up? This is the Dragon Fist. Merry Christmas to you all. Um, this is the Q&A video that I promised. Like I said, it was going to be up after Christmas Day, and it is. So over the course of the last week, I've gotten about 10 questions from you guys asking me about my personal life and stuff like that. A few of them were asking for me to give more insight into what happened in my life update video, but like I said in the video, that's more family business. So as a result, I was basically forced to cut 3 questions off. So now I only have 7 to answer today. It's not that I don't want to answer them. It's that the nature of the questions themselves were things that kind of made me uncomfortable to answer. Hopefully you guys understand, because, you know, I mean, we all have different levels of sensitivity. Anyway, let's go ahead and get these questions down. Okay, the first one, it came from Mr. Wildboy94, and he asked, what was the one moment in your life that really helped you realize what kind of person you'd like to be in life? Well, to answer your question, Mr. Wildboy, the one moment where I realized that I wanted to be a writer had to be when I was in, well, it depends on what you mean by what kind of person. Do you mean like occupation, or what type of, interests, or what type of morality, or something like that? I'm gonna go ahead and just explain all 3 to you guys. For Mr. Wildboy, for the kind of person I wanted to be, for an occupation, I realized that I wanted to be an author when I was in maybe I believe I was in my freshman year, and my English teacher explained that writing is like a really constructive and creative process, and the fact that you can basically just dump all of your imagination into it. So if you guys have been reading my fan fiction, all the stuff in the fan fiction is coming from my mind, translated into Word documents, which are then translated onto a website. But the other thing, though, is that in terms of morality, or the type of person I wanted to be, I kind of made that decision at a really early age. I was like maybe like 13 or something like that. Although granted, that's not really early because I'm 19. But yeah, like in terms of the I guess some of my father rubbed off on me in a way. As in like I kind of inherited some of his a lot of his laid backness, a lot of his laid back attitude. And also I'm a pacifist. I refuse to fight. So yeah, those 2 things really helped shape the kind of person I wanted to be in my personal life. Question number 2. Well, okay, so this guy asked 3 questions. This one's coming from Kyle Warden. The first question is, what websites are good for publishing a story that's not fan fiction, like an original novel? I don't really know that answer I don't really know an answer to that, to be honest. Although one that I believe that there's a website called what is it? It's something, well, I mean, you can publish both fanfiction on there, and you can publish an original novel, but the question, I mean, the website name isn't coming to my head at the moment. But I think that, well, I mean, there's a difference between fanfiction and an original novel. Fanfiction is basically where you take, it's basically where you take a franchise like, say, The Legend of Zelda, or say, um, movies like Peter Pan and so forth, like I'm doing, and you basically just create new stories based off of those, based off of franchises that have already been created and have already had their movies or books or whatever created based off of their characters. Sorry about sorry about that, guys. If you can hear that, that's my keyboard. I'm currently searching for the website title. Okay. But like the main difference between the between fanfiction and a novel is the fact that, well, a novel is an original work, whereas a fanfiction is, well, I guess you could say a fanfiction is an original work too, but the main difference is that it's not the original author that's writing the fanfiction. It's the original author that's writing a novel, but not necessarily for the fanfiction, unless the writer wants to go back and create a spin-off story or something like that. Okay, so I cannot find any I can't find any websites on that right now. If I do, though, I'll be sure to message you. I'll be sure to message you about that, Kyle, or like me and him are friends on Facebook. So I'll be sure to message you about that. If I get any information. Okay, so moving on to Kyle's next question: what recording software do you use? Well, originally, when I first started this channel, I was using Fraps, but the PC that I had was really mediocre in terms of the processing power, and as well as the settings I had Fraps on. So because of that, and also I was using an emulator for my early Let's Plays, but mostly because they were Dragon Ball Z content. But the main reason why was because, like I said, the laptop I had at that time was, I believe it was a Windows 7. And it was a Toshiba. And basically what happened was, I had the settings up really, really high on Fraps, and it just became too much for my processor to handle, and the processor burned out and the computer died. But the hard drive was also really a piece of work. And so I ended up switching to this program called MSI Afterburner, which, although as far as I know, that the recording portion of that program is no longer in existence. Like, I might be wrong, don't quote me on that, but I checked it out the other day when I was looking for new software, and because I like to compare and contrast, and it doesn't look like the recording portion of that software is available anymore for download. But it was really reliable, and it used up about a fraction of what Fraps used up on the Windows 7. Although, granted, the main reason why Fraps took up so much space was because of the settings I had on it. But then I switched to after a little while with MSI Afterburner, I decided to move over. I got a Steam account, and I found this really cool software on sale for like $5 called D3D Gear. I used that for a little while, and now I'm back to Fraps again on my Windows 10 PC. And I've got the settings tweaked and everything so that it's basically the perfect resolution that it's recording at and stuff like that. But it was really interesting experience overall. And then Kyle's third question is, maybe could you do an analysis of your all-time favorite game? LOL, might be interesting content. Well, I mean, I don't really have an all-time favorite game. Although there are some that have made my favorites list, but I don't have that one. I don't have that one favorite, you know? I mean, it's so hard to choose. Because there's so many great ones out there, like the RPG genre, the Pokemon series, like I talked about with Occasionally Silent Fox in my last rant video, the RPGs like Skyrim, action adventure games like the 007 series, or Nintendo games or something like that. Although granted, I don't really want to do a Nintendo game because I'll get copyrighted against severely. But but basically, sorry about that, guys. I've got a little bit of a cold right now because we got home last night at around like maybe we got home at like 10. Well, actually no, it was more like maybe 7. But my dog had to go out repeatedly, and I guess I caught something. But I'm taking some medicine for it, so it'll be gone eventually. But anyway, sorry about that. So thank you, Kyle, for those questions. Like I said, if I get some information on a web link or something like that for question number 1, I will be sure to message you on Facebook about it, or something. Anyway, question number 3 comes from Superscore, whose YouTube channel link will be in the description below. What was the first game you played? Now, this is a really interesting one, because the first game that I remember playing in my life was the original Spider-Man for the PS1. Although granted, somehow I got a PC port. I don't really know how, but there was a version made for PC, and I think I still have it now. But it was such a good game. It was such a fun game. Sorry. And me and Occasionally Silent Fox he would come over to my house, and we would just play that game to no end. It was so much fun. And we would also make fun of the character models, especially Monster Hawk, who is the game's last boss. My gosh, my voice. But yeah, like the first Spider-Man game was really it was how I got into Spider-Man in general. And it was also how I got into superheroes. So, yeah, needless to say, I had a really big experience on my life. Thank you for the question, Superscore. Anyway, the next one comes from RS Ninja, who is a Steam friend of mine, and whose Steam link I will post in the description below. But anyway, RS Ninja asks, how did you start YouTube? Well, I mean, I was maybe I think I was a sophomore in high school, and I'd seen I'd heard a lot of my friends over at Deer Valley talking about how much they loved YouTube, and talking about how much they really liked content from it. And I decided, well, what the heck, I'll just start one of my own, and I did. Although granted, a few of my earlier Let's Plays are a bit like very limited quality, and it's I mean, the microphone quality was horrible by comparison to what it is today. Although granted, it's like a 3-year difference, but what is it for now? I don't really know. But yeah, like I was like maybe 15 when I first started it. And it's also I was kind of influenced by Liquid Solidus 9000, who's a really good YouTuber. I watched a lot of his videos. Shout out to you, Liquid Solidus, if you're watching this video. Keep up the good work. But yeah, I mean, it was just those influences that really had such a huge impact on me. But yeah, thank you for your question, RS Ninja. Much appreciated. Question number 5 comes from iVolt Gaming, whose channel again will be in the description below. Who would win out of Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan 4? Well, okay, there are 2 ways you can look at this question. If you're looking at, if you're talking like canon, then Super Saiyan Blue would win out, because Dragon Ball Super is I haven't watched it in a while, but I believe they got to the episode where Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue against Frieza, but I don't really know. Like I said, it's been a while. But if we're talking canon, then Super Saiyan Blue would win out clearly because Dragon Ball GT is non-canon now as a result of Dragon Ball Super and the new movies and everything. But in terms of power, Super Saiyan 4 would definitely win out, mostly because 4 is just such an overwhelming powerhouse. It's such a I don't really know, but but yeah, to cut a long story short, Ivolt, Super Saiyan Blue, if we're talking canon, and Super Saiyan 4 if we're talking power and without canon in the context. So it's kind of a draw in a way. Thank you, Ivolt. Next question comes from Rasan69. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, dude. What's your favorite type of game? Well, I don't like horror games. I really don't. But if I had to choose, I would probably say the RPG genre, like RPGs like the Elder Scrolls. I also like it's kind of split between RPG and action adventure. So like Skyrim or like the Pokemon series or something like that for action and adventure. Although granted, Pokemon's more fantasy, but whatever. But yeah, I'm kind of split as to what my favorite type of game is due to the RPG genre is so incredibly immersive. It is so breathtaking. Like the amount of space that these guys that Bethesda were able to create for Skyrim after just having come off of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which was already massive when it came out. Sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. But these although I haven't played much of the Final Fantasy series, but I think it's also an RPG. So, although granted I haven't played any of the Final Fantasy series, but I really need to though, because it's a really good series. At least that's what my friends say over in LMC. But yeah, Rasen, I'm kind of split between RPG and action and adventure, so I don't really have a favorite type. Anyway, and the final question comes from Kaylin Graham. What is your favorite part of making videos? Well, I'd say that, I don't really have a favorite part. Although my least favorite part would have to be the editing, because, like, the editing takes up so much time. But so yeah, the editing is my least favorite part. But for my favorite part, I don't really have one, actually, because, like, I love all of it. Like, it's so much fun. But, if I had to choose, I would say that, just playing games in general, and just being able to voice my opinion on them. Not critically, but just, like, in a fun kind of way, you know? I mean, but to answer your question, Kaylin, my favorite part of making videos, I don't really have one, but I would have to say that my least favorite part would be editing again, which takes up a really big amount of time. But I mean, for a favorite part, I would have to say maybe just playing the games and commentating on them is like, it's so relaxing in a way, and I know that's kind of weird to say because normally video games, like, they take you out of reality in a way. It's like when you're reading a really good novel. Like, you're so immersed in the book's text, and if it's a series of books, the mythos, that your brain kind of turns off in a way, like a switch, like a snap. And that's kind of the same thing with video games, is that especially during stressful times, like it just takes the stress away from me, and that's actually what happened. What happened after immediately after I broke up with my ex, um, a few weeks back now. But I mean, as soon as, but like whenever I feel depressed about it or something like that, I just pick up a game or open up a book or something like that, and I am immediately relaxed. Um, about it. But but yeah, guys. Anyway, thank you guys so much for your questions. If you have any more, or any new questions, please leave them in the comment section. As I said, I will be posting Super Score, RS Ninja, iVol Gaming, and Watson 69's respective links in the description below. So yeah. Anyway, bye bye everybody. Have a great day. Dragonfist out. God bless. Bye bye.